For all of us who screwed ourselves over the last year and a half of IB, who don't even understand the most basic concepts of our subjects, and for us who have such a huge backlog of work that we don't even know where to start, the next 6 months, from December to May, is your chance to fix everything. And I'm not exaggerating. This is a time where you go from a 34 to a 41, and I totally believe that. And one of the most potentially insane productive periods of this time is your December break, because you can get so much more work done, much more than any regular month. It's crazy. Think about it. At this point, you've been through the program for a year and a half. You're at least done with half your syllabus, and so you already have a good idea of what you suck at and what you need to fix. This isn't like last December where you had just an okay idea of the program, what you were learning. No. Now, you've done enough IB tests, IAs, assignments to know how they work, and you're at a much better position to fix them than before. The only thing you need to fix them is time, which this December break is going to give you. You're at home, you're relaxed, and more importantly, you're getting enough sleep. You're not getting tired dealing with the day-to-day of school and sitting through unproductive classes with bad teachers. No, this is a time where you have the freedom to do what you want. And if you use this freedom effectively, you're going to be able to do 3 times as much work as you normally could. And if you structure this time well, you're going to set yourself up for success for the months coming to your exam. The point is, use this time effectively, because for the majority of us, you're not going to get a time like this until the end of your exams. So how do you use this time effectively? Well, everybody has a different set of circumstances, different things they need to work on, things they got to finish, and so on. And it doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you're getting as much work done as you possibly can. That being said, there are things that are more productive to do than others. And I'm going to show you 2 things that I wish I'd done more of in the December break, and in the order that I would do them. So the first thing you should absolutely do is finish all your coursework. So your EE, your IA, TOKS, your reflections, CAS activities, all your required coursework, finish this before school starts again. And there's one major reason you should do this. Jan-May is a really interesting period of time, because as time goes on, you're getting really close to your exams. Now, for a lot of us, we have so many gaps in our knowledge and so much material that we're not confident on, that there's an alarm in your head going ding, 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 study, because you're so close to the exams. So you want to study, but there's something holding you back. A big iron boulder and shackle attached to your leg called coursework that you need to finish before you can study. Because deadlines are approaching and you're not done. And that's when it hits you. Because you want to study, you need to study, you need to be prepared, but you can't. Because coursework is holding you back and is robbing you of your precious study time that you desperately need. And when exams are near and you still have coursework due, you can't study. So what do? You rush. You rush your IA, you rush your E, and your grades suffer. And when you submit bad IAs and essays, trust me, it pinches, because you know what that's doing to your grade. So if you can get your coursework over within this break, in this stress-free time, or should I say the least stressful time in the next 6 months, where you have the luxury of time to make better coursework, edit, improve, refine, that's going to help your grades. And more importantly, it's going to give you free time to study later on. Sure, you may have to deal with a couple of revisions here and there, but the majority of your work is done. And you have 5 months of pure studying for your exam, and that's going to propel your grades to a place much higher than they are now. One thing that you should take into consideration though is that I know that in some schools, there are teachers who don't even introduce you your coursework until the last term. Like my Lang B teacher, she made us start our IAs like in our last term, late in our last term. And some of these IAs, you may need to get approval from your teacher before you start. Maybe you have a good idea, but you need to double check with your teacher if she's okay with it. But in December, your teacher may be unwilling or unable to help. And if that's the case, don't start your topic before you get approval, even if that means doing it after school starts. You don't want to waste time finishing up assignments and then redoing them later because your teacher didn't like them. So try your best to finish as much as you possibly can, figure out as much as you can, and whatever time is remaining, then move on to the next priority. Learning content. Now, even though it's been a year and a half of IB and we're supposed to know a lot of us just don't. And I was one of those people. Heck, you may not even have the fundamentals down of those subjects that you're studying. And this is especially terrible for subjects that later topics require understanding of earlier topics, like math, chem, physics. So if you don't understand the basics, you won't understand anything later on, anything more advanced. So if your class is almost done with physics and they're in chapter 10, but you don't understand anything from chapter 4, this is an amazing time to catch up on everything by studying. And don't say it's impossible to catch up so much in a month, because it is. I first studied the majority of HL Econ, HL Bio in about a month, and HL Business in the week before my exam. It's a lot of effort, a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of reading, but trust me, if you study smart, you'd be surprised how much you can cover and remember in a short amount of time. So use this time to catch up everything that you haven't understood for the last year and a half of IB and fill in those knowledge gaps. And what if you're that one person in school who understands everything up till now? The next step, go ahead of your class. Don't rely on your teacher to cover the material in class. That's stupid. I've heard of teachers who finish the syllabus like 2 weeks before the exam, and only after that did their students start revising the whole subject, which is stupid, right? I've heard of teachers who don't even complete the damn syllabus, so don't wait. If you have the time, go ahead of your class. You're buying on more time to finish other things later on. Study intensely. I'm not saying study quickly. Take the time you need to understand the material, but study intensely. Don't waste time. This is the time to fill up your gaps, solidify the material, and even go ahead of your class. Everybody has different situations, right? So maybe you need to use the December break differently than your friends, or than what I'm saying. Maybe you need to do a combination of coursework and studying simultaneously, or maybe you need to do content first. It doesn't matter. The point is, you use this break as effectively as you can. I personally like the order of going coursework first and then content, even if it takes the same amount of time to finish coursework and studying. And I prefer this over this for 2 very simple reasons. The first reason is that we tend to forget things farther along in time, right? So this is the same reason why you may need to restudy a chapter that you knew perfectly 8 months ago, right? Because you forgot. So I rather study closer to the exam because I need to remember the syllabus, but I don't need to remember the majority of my EE. And also, closer to the exam, just in my head, right? I personally prefer to be studying than to be doing coursework. I won't be able to give proper attention to my IA if exams are near, so I rather study closer to the exam. This is a great period because you know enough of your subjects to use this time to target your specific areas of weakness, right? You'll already know what resources work best for you, and you'll have a good idea of how to study. And even if you haven't identified these things, December is a great time to figure all this out. This is really important. If you're watching this video and you didn't do anything in your December break and you haven't done anything up till now, it's 1 month before the exam and basically you feel like you're screwed. This video isn't saying that you need your December break to get a 40, right? I studied a lot in a short amount of time and very close to my exam. And maybe you're a person who doesn't need to study for more than 2 weeks. But here's the thing, why not do it this way? Why not use this break effectively and relax later on with less stress before the exam? You can succeed without December, but I don't see why any IB student should. So again, figure out what you need to fix, squeeze the productivity out of this time, and lift your grades to an all-time high. If you have any questions at all, post in the comments, email me, DM me on Insta. Guys, honestly, my Insta is sick, okay? It's out of this world. I'm not even kidding. I only have 2 posts, but trust me, really, anything, let me know. Post in the comments. I'll definitely try my best to help. Hope that helps. Hope it all works out. I know you'll do great. All right, take care.